What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Facebook Live right here on both the Dentrix and Henry Schein One Facebook page. It's so great to be with you guys today. My name is John Stamper from Dental Cast Productions. And as you saw on the post, and all of you that are watching, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes out of your day. We have two pros with us today. You saw the title of this live, which is How Do You Fill That Hygiene Fall Schedule? We've got Dana Johnson and Andrea Galmar with us today. Ladies, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, John?
I'm wonderful. And so happy to have the both of you. So before we get started, everybody, we're going to spend a little bit of time today, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Dana and Andrea are heavily involved in Dentrix and have done so much, in this world. And so they want to spend today on sharing with you guys some tips and tricks. We know what everybody's been going through in regards to COVID and your schedule, and you've been super busy just keeping the practice operational. But, Dana and Andrea have a lot of great ideas they want to share today. Before we do that, Dana, share with everybody a little bit about who you are and this world that you've been living in, what you help people with.
Yes. I mean, I've been in dentistry, since I was early 20s. So I've been in dentistry for over 25 years. I love the dental industry, and it's such a great way to, we change people's lives every day. And, my role kind of evolved over the last 25 years. I started in a dental practice. And so I know what all of you are going through every day. I've been in your shoes. I've been on the front line. I know the workflow of the dental practice because I've worked in a dental practice for over 20 years. And, over time it evolved. In my second dental practice, I helped my practice transition from an archaic DOS-based software program to Dentrix back in 2003. And, when I first started using Dentrix, I wanted to be an expert. I wanted to know everything I could learn about Dentrix because, in the dental practice, your entire day revolves around your software. And, so in 2005, I became a certified Dentrix trainer. Not really thinking that I would actually go out and train, but that I just wanted to know more about the software. And what better way to learn more about the software than to become a certified trainer? So I became a certified trainer in 2006, and it really evolved after that. I started off training, and then I became the Dentrix office manager blog author, and I was their national blogger for 7 years and started doing presentations for Henry Schein. And now I partner with Henry Schein a lot doing presentations and these Facebook Live events. And now I do this full time and I absolutely love it. And now I don't just work in one dental practice, I work in hundreds of dental practices, so yeah. I get the opportunity to see really what's happening out in the industry on an everyday basis. And it really gives me a 37,000 foot view of what's really happening out there. So it's a really unique opportunity for me. I love it.
Well, and I know that's what the Henry Schein One team was so excited about today was that you have such a deep knowledge base, like you were mentioning of Dentrix and all of that, all the intricacies of the software, but there is the element of knowing what goes on, at the practice level, right? With the teams and what they need to do to fill their schedule and how you kind of bring those two together. So I know you're going to talk about that, and it's great to have you. And your co-host today, Andrea Gallimore, is also a familiar name in the Henry Schein One world, Dentrix world, all of that. Andrea, great to have you share a little bit about your experience and what you're doing, and most importantly, what you're passionate about.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And I'm so glad to be here today with you guys and with Dana. It's always great to work with her. So similar to Dana, I started off in the dental industry in the late 90s and became an office manager for a practice. They were a Dentrix practice, and I wanted to learn more about Dentrix and how I could help our practice. So I became a certified Dentrix trainer in the early 2000s, and then it's just evolved from there. I was very fortunate in 2010 to become a full-time employee for Henry Schein and help start our e-services training team. And From there, I have just grown within the company, grown within my knowledge of the dental industry, even more than just from working in the practice. And now currently, I am a product marketing manager for our patient relationship management and patient demand generation services. And so it has been a true blessing to jump into that role and be able to take the next step of what I have learned from our practices out there that we work with, what I've learned from my own experience in the practice, in working with people like Dana and what she is bringing to us on what do our practices need to help them succeed, be more efficient, be more productive, be effective in the practice. And so I'm just super passionate about helping practices learn and utilize tools that really just help them become the office they can be and be more efficient and effective and just thrive within their practice. So it's an honor to be here today, and I look forward to chatting with you guys and with Dana and just bringing you guys some good information that you really need to learn about coming up in these next few months that are going to be ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So here's how we're going to do this, everybody. Like we mentioned, Dana and Andrea have a lot of great information to share today. If you think about what these last 4 or 5 months have been like, we know and are hoping that many of you have spent the time to learn more about your Dentrix software, and you realize, oh my gosh, there's all these tools. And then you combine that with some of the challenges that you've been facing in regards to making sure you're keeping the schedule full and all that. So I know that's what they're going to discuss. I will be monitoring the comments thread. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever for Dana and Andrea, be sure to go ahead and post them right below in the comments. I'll go ahead and pull all those all together. And then when they're done in about the next 15 or 20 minutes, talking about some of the great information, I'll come back on and we'll go ahead and ask you ladies those questions and see what we can do to be as resourceful as possible today. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dana, to get started.
Okay, sounds good. So I guess where I'm going to start is, what I'm seeing in the industry right now is that offices, admin team members and the whole office in general is, you're really focused on these new protocols. You're focused on, all the new PPE protocols, and you're really focused on making sure that you're taking care of your patients in the moment, right? And which is what you should be doing. I feel like in what I'm seeing being in offices over the last few months and working online and also being in the office. I've been in several offices in the last couple of months, and you really are doing a great job at taking care of your patients on a daily basis. But what I want to talk about today is the statistics are showing us, and you've probably may have already noticed this, is that we need to talk about your fall schedule today. We really need to look ahead. So we need to still take care of our patients today, but we need to forecast. We need to start preparing for our fall schedule because you were closed. Most practices were closed between mid-March and late May, which means that those patients, those recare patients, those hygiene patients did not schedule their 4 and 6 month recare visit. Okay. So what I want to talk about today is that we need to do a course correction right now and make sure that our fall schedule, our schedules between mid-September and late November, we have a plan for filling that or making a course correction about our fall schedule. So that's what I want to focus on today. And so I'm going to be talking about what you can do inside of Dentrix and verbal skills and workflow, systems, reports, all of that inside of your Dentrix software, because that's where I specialize in. And then Andrea is going to talk about some other solutions that you can kind of piggyback on top of the Dentrix core software. So before I jump in, Andrea, do you want to jump in with anything before I jump into like workflow systems, things like that?
Sure, great. Yeah, Dana, thanks. And so, you guys, like Dana said, we have to begin now focusing on how are we going to make sure our chairs are full in those months that are coming up where we were closed and we didn't get those hygiene schedules rebooked as we normally do. So, as Dana goes through what you can do inside of Dentrix, and tells you guys how to really work for your practice. I'll give you some of our tools and our services that can help you automate it and give you some opportunities to be a little more efficient so you're not having to pick up the phone and call everybody. So we know these next few months coming up are going to be critical in getting our practices really back off the ground again. We've been pretty much in recovery mode, and now we need to start focusing on, okay, we're back in, let's make sure we are going to be able to be productive for the remainder of the year. So look forward to just helping you guys along with Dana on what we can do to help you out here within your Dentrix software, within services to help automate.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like we kind of have to marry these two things together. We have manual systems. So we have a team inside the dental practice that has reports and workflow that we have to put together on a daily, weekly basis. But then we also have these automated systems. And so we have to marry those two together so that we have a real, seamless workflow to where our patients are being, reached out to either with electronic services, or we're reaching out to them with a old school phone call. So I think we have to marry these systems together. And so I think that's where, Andrea and I really kind of bring these two systems together. So I'm going to start with, what I see is, and I teach this a lot when I'm with offices, is I really teach a system of being very proactive about your schedule. And so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the 3 reports that your team really needs to master, over the next, week or so, or the next couple of days. These are the 3 reports that you're really going to start managing on a regular basis, because I want you to be proactive about your schedule. So when I talk about being proactive, what does that mean exactly? Well, what that means is I want you to be reaching out to patients even when you don't have openings in your schedule. Because right now, what I'm seeing in offices, what I'm hearing from offices is, Dana, we're so full right now. We are like, we don't have any space to put patients. And I'm like, you're right, because you've rescheduled all those patients from when you were closed. So you are full right now. But you can't stop reaching out to patients right now, because if you do, then what's going to happen is you're going to be reactive to openings. And if you start to have openings in your schedule in the next few months, which you already do, then this is what happens when you have an opening, when you're reacting to an opening. You call a patient up on the phone and you say, I have an opening tomorrow morning. Can you come in? The patient feels the desperation in your voice, So when we're proactive about our schedule, the conversation with the patient is, I care about you. You're important to us. Your oral health is important to us. And I want to make sure that I get you scheduled in with your hygienist, because you as a person, you as a human being, your oral health is important to us. It's not, I have an opening in my schedule and I need to get you in. So that's what I talk about when I talk about being proactive about your schedule. You're talking to patients about getting them into your schedule because you know how important their oral health is. So what reports are we looking at inside of Dentrix? What can you do inside of Dentrix? Number 1, and I see this almost with every office that I work with, is your unscheduled list is atrocious. Okay. And I'm just going to say that your unscheduled list is like 5,000 pages long. Okay. Your unscheduled list is one of the best resources that you have for helping you fill your schedule. Okay. Now, many of you probably have moved all of your patients from that COVID time onto your unscheduled list. More than likely, that's what you did. That was my recommendation back several months ago. So a lot of you may still have a lot of those patients on your unscheduled list. That unscheduled list needs attention weekly, several times a week. Even when we're not in this pandemic that we're in, your unscheduled list needs attention every day. So, try and block out an hour, 1 to 4 hours a week. If you can do it daily, that's fantastic. Get on the phone and reach back out to these patients. The unscheduled list are patients that have already been on your schedule. So they've either already committed to treatment, they've already been on the hygiene schedule. They just need you to reach back out to them and follow up. So it's either with a phone call, it could be with some kind of a email message if you can't get a hold of them through a phone. Now, I don't know if and Andrea will probably talk about how the e-services coordinate with that. I don't know if you want to jump in now or I'm going to keep going.
You keep going, but
okay.
Definitely we've got some automated tools too that are phenomenal. Being able to help out with that, because just as you said, Dana, it's important to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And if the time isn't there right now, then we have some automated tools that can help out. So I will definitely talk about that and how we can help out with it.
Okay, good. Awesome. So unscheduled list, that's your number one list resource. We need to get on that right now. And if your unscheduled list needs attention, I have a great tip sheet I can send you guys. So the second report that is probably going to be one of the most important reports that your team can work on is the continuing care list. There's 2 continuing care lists that you could put into your regular daily, weekly workflow. There's the traditional continuing care list. So if you're on your appointment book, there's a continuing care icon right on the appointment book. You can create customized lists, and you can reach out to your patients that are overdue for their perio maintenance or for their pro fees. Always making sure that you're making your follow-up call notes in the office journal so that your entire team knows where to find your follow-up calls. So that's the continuing care list. Now, if you want to get a little bit more, have a list that's a little bit more interactive, that I really love is using the continuing care list in the letters and custom lists. So you can create a custom list from the letters and custom lists. I also have a tip sheet if you want to reach out to me directly. You can message me or email me directly. I have a tip sheet that will help you. But the continuing care list is for finding patients who are overdue. Now, I can guarantee you before COVID even hit that you had hundreds, if not thousands, of patients that were overdue for recare. And these patients is a great resource to help you fill that fall schedule. So we need to get on top of that right now so that we can fill that fall schedule. So that's the continuing care list. So that's list number 2. Number 3 is finding patients that may still have, cariotherapy in their treatment plan. Okay. So another way that we can fill our hygiene schedule is with treatment. Okay. Not just our regular recare patients, but what about patients where you have treatment planned periotherapy? Then you can search for those patients that have not scheduled their periotherapy using the treatment manager. The treatment manager is one of my favorite reports in Dentrix, and it's an often overlooked report. And so you can filter your treatment manager report by D4341 to D4342, so you can get a very filtered list of patients who have periotherapy in their treatment plan. So that's another way that you can help fill your schedule now and in the future. And so that's report number 3. And then number 4 is, as we get closer to the fall, you want to make sure that you have a very robust ASAP list, because as you start to get closer to the fall, you want to make sure that you have a really large list of ASAP patients that you can reach out to. So we definitely want to make sure that we're working all 4 of those reports, because those are your scheduling go-to reports for being proactive about your schedule and keeping your schedule full. So I have more to talk about, but I'm going to turn it over to Andrea, so maybe she can give you some ideas on how the automation can come into play, that can kind of also work into your workflow in addition to the manual reports that you want to work.
Awesome. Yes, Dana. And you guys, every one of these reports in Dentrix are just super important. And from gathering those lists, it's a great tool to utilize and bring into your automation of utilizing Patient Engage to send information to your patients in a more automated fashion. As Dana was talking about, we are extremely busy right now. We have been getting our patients back in. We had patients already on our schedules for Hygiene especially, and now we have all the Hygiene patients from March and April and May to get in also. So we're really working that. But one thing that's going to help as you pull these lists, and one of the lists that you talked about, Dana, is actually going to the patient report by filter and using the custom list. And that list, once you pull a list from there, that can be exported in a file format that our Patient Engage service can actually utilize and send an automated message to that group of patients. And doing that is going to give you an opportunity to go in and reach out to them. Start proactively reaching out to them, letting them know we need to get you on the schedule. We're scheduling now. You can start building that ASAP list that Dana's talking about with many functionalities within Patient Engage. One thing I love and has been a phenomenal tool in helping practices get back up and running, but now we can use that tool to keep you going, get your schedules full into the fall. And that's our campaign studio. Think of it as your tool to outreach to your patients, to create an email that you're going to send out to them, let them know, as Dana said, hey, we care about your oral health. We want to get you back in, get you taken care of, keep your mouth healthy and your body healthy, and utilize the campaign studio. You can send it to that list you pulled out of Dentrix. You can filter it to specifically those patients. You can add in your campaign that you send out to that group of patients. You can add to the hot list, wait list inside of Patient Engage, add yourself to that patient. So the patient can actually get the email, click and say, yes, I'm interested in coming in, add me to the hot list. And from that list, you can begin texting back and forth with the patient and letting them know, here's when we have an opportunity that's open. Let's get you on the schedule. Even though we may need to add you to our ASAP list in Dentrix, let's go ahead and get you on the schedule. Begin filling those holes, putting them in the ASAP list if they need to get in sooner, which probably a lot of them do. And then that way you have a great ASAP list to begin pulling those patients on in. The automated tools are going to help you be able to do all of that without having to spend so much time on the phone calling each of these people and trying to reach them. You're emailing them. They can put themselves on that hot list. You can text back and forth with them. Even when an opening comes up and you have that patient on the ASAP list, you're able to text them and say, hey, Dana, I have you on my ASAP list and I have an opening tomorrow at 8 o'clock and you love 8 o'clock. And you can text back and say, yes, I want it. So it just allows you to flow even better, because now we have so much we're having to do in the practice, doing those patient screening questions and, checking them in as they're coming in a little different manner than we used to. So go forward with these lists and these reports that Dana's talked about building, and then use the automated tools within your services to send out and get those patients scheduled. I promise you that putting a workflow in place is only going to make you be better in your practice, make your life easier in the practice, and feel more efficient, and get those chairs full into the future and utilize building that great ASAP list. So love those lists, Dana. Treatment manager list, you guys, is one of my favorite too.
Yeah.
People do not use that list, and it is such one of my favorite lists to utilize.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, a lot of statistics show that patients, new patients and existing patients, a lot of times will, now people are working and a lot, people are online a lot. And so also part of those lists, like the continuing care, patients that are overdue with continuing care, a lot of patients want to book appointments online. And so another thing that can really help our team at the front desk with, kind of reducing some of the task things is online booking. I've been a huge advocate of online booking for so long. I absolutely love it. I've booked, dinner reservations, flights, rental cars for, many, many years online. And I know that statistically, a lot of patients will go online in the evening times, after the kids are gone to bed, or, after they get home from work, and they're able to actually look for schedule appointments. Online booking could be a really great way of kind of supplementing the phone calls and the lists that our office are doing during the day, because patients may get those reminders then in the evening and they want to schedule, but now the office is closed. So tell us a little bit about how, because I love online booking, and being in the dental office, I wish that I would have had online booking when I was in a dental practice, because I would have just been, over the moon about it. Sometimes I'll let you get into the details, but what I want to say about online booking is that, I know a lot of you might be saying, oh my gosh, I would never want somebody to have their hands in my appointment book. And I'm like, you have full control over your appointment book. I know I was a little OCD when I was an office manager in a dental practice. I didn't want anybody in my appointment book either. But, what I do know about online booking nowadays is that you still have full control over your appointment book. What happens is you now are giving your patients the freedom of booking their appointments when they're online, which is in the evenings, or, at night, they're watching the evening news and they're looking for an appointment time. So, I am super excited about the online booking, which can supplement what you're doing in the dental practice, can really help you to fill your schedule, especially what we're talking about today, which is your fall schedule. So Andrea, I always mispronounce your name a little bit. So
Don't worry about it.
Tell us a little bit more about maybe the details or the how the online booking works with Dentrix.
Exactly. Well, and I know Dana and you guys have talked about online booking a lot, and both of us, it does give you a little bit of fear. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose control of my schedule, and they're just going to book wherever they want to book, and it's not going to be in a time that I need them there. But really, us control freaks helped work with and design online booking. So we understand those needs. And the great thing about online booking, as Dana said, is it doesn't release control of your schedule. You have control of it. You can say, I want these times of days available, or I want to, make sure that I'm condensing my schedule. I don't leave gaping holes in my schedule, or, off 30-minute times or whatever. I want an 11 o'clock appointment, not an 11:30, because I don't want those 30 minutes of before and after. So it really allows you guys full control. And one of the beauties of it is, when it comes to hygiene, utilizing online booking with ReCare and Continuing Care Due is going to be so simple for you guys to get your patients in. As you have your automated system going out telling patients they're coming due, they're past due, and they don't have an appointment on the appointment book for a prophy or perio maintenance, it's going to send them a message out and let them know you're coming due. Click here to book your appointment. It allows them to click and book their appointment. And one of the beauties of it is, even if it's to the patient who's coming due, it will not let them book before their due date. So if I'm not due until September and I get a message today, if I'm due the first week of September and I get an email today from the automated system that says, Andrea, you're coming due, when I click to book, it's going to take me out to 1 day past my due date and allow me to start booking forward from there. So that's a tool that, be confident that you're not going to have patients booking when they're not supposed to, and then insurance is all messed up. And then your past due patients, of course, they can book whenever. But like Dana said, they get the link. It's tied to that patient. It's tied to their due date. They can book it at night when they're sitting at the computer. I mean, I know I work at a computer all day long, but it's quite funny that I don't do any kind of things like that during the day. In the evening, I sit down with my iPad actually, and then I start booking a massage, because I just need massages all the time. And, booking my dental appointments and things like that. So it's phenomenal for your ReCare. It's also phenomenal for new patients. And you can have a link on your website to have a new patient book. You guys, we can't forget about new patients in our practice. I know we're busy. I know it's a little different time, but we still want to build our practices. And having the new patient link on your website for patients to go ahead and book will really help you. And you can stipulate, I have, a new patient exam, or I have an emergency exam, whatever types of opportunities you want to offer for new patients, for them to select the exact amount of time that you slate and the exact times of day. It's looking at your Dentrix appointment book. It's staying up to date. If that time's no longer available, it's no longer available. They'll have to look for another date or time. So don't feel like you have to hold those spots. And I know in the past when I used some online systems, I actually had to say, okay, I gave these times to the company to allow patients to book from. I got to hold those spots. You don't have to do that with online booking through Dentrix, because it is actually keeping up to date minute by minute with your appointment book, knows when the slots are open, knows when you've already filled them internally in the office. Okay, that's no longer available, so I'll have to look for a different time. So feel confident that it's going to be a tool that can be very useful for you guys, and just help you in getting things booked. It's amazing when you come in the next morning and you have appointments on your appointment book, and a little look at it and say, oh my gosh, I had 6 people book last night. And I can go and look at their appointments and just really take care of them, reach out to the new patient and say, we're so glad you booked with us, and go ahead and do your normal things you would do with your new patients. So definite awesome tool to be utilizing, and will help you get those chairs full.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to kind of tag on to what Andrea was saying about new patients, because that's kind of another thing that I wanted to talk about, is reminding the dental practice. So we've kind of talked about what you can do in your system, the reports, the workflow, where to make notes, what kind of things to talk about your patients. And so kind of tagging on to the new patients that is also going to help us, fill that fall schedule as well. is new patients, because new patients are also going to bring periotherapy. New patients are also going to bring new prophies into the practice. So we want to remember every day is asking for our referrals, because right now you're super busy. Right now you're thrown into this new systems and protocols with the office, but we don't want to forget about all these core systems that we had in place, before COVID hit. We want to get back to asking for referrals. And I know a lot of people, they say, gosh, I just, I feel bad asking for a referral. Well, here's the easiest way in the world to ask for a referral is anytime you get a compliment about anything, the patient is in the chair with the hygienist, and the patient says, oh my gosh, I just love coming here. My teeth always feel so clean when I leave. The hygienist, right then and there, best time to ask for a referral. I love it when you come in, you're one of our favorite patients. We would love to have more patients like you. If you know of any friends or family that are looking for a dentist right now, we would love to have more patients like you. And we're still taking new patients. So that's a great segue into asking for a referral. If a patient comes up to the front desk or you're on the phone with a patient and they say, I really appreciate you take such good care of our family. You always check on our insurance benefit. I really appreciate that. Your front desk team, your front office team, it's a great way to ask for a referral. We're really glad that you guys are patients of ours. You always pay your bill on time. We really appreciate that. We would love to have more patients like you. If you know of any of your friends or family that are looking for a dentist, please give them our information. We have an online booking tool right on our website. If you just let your friend or your family know to go to our website, we'd be more than happy to see them. So asking for referrals should really be an everyday, remember about that every day. And so it's so easy to ask for a referral, especially when you've gotten a compliment or just those patients that you really love, your A patients, reminding to ask for referrals every day, because that is really going to also help you fill not only your schedule now, but your fall schedule as well.
Most definitely, Dana. Those are, everybody thinks, the world has gone so automated, but you know what? Word of mouth is still one of our best referrals to our practices. And even when I say word of mouth, that word of mouth could be just us talking as friends, but it's also, think about you guys, you're out on Facebook. How many times do you see your friends saying, I need a suggestion for, a dentist, or I need a suggestion for this? So it's a great opportunity just to remind that your patients, hey, we really appreciate you guys, and utilize all the different tools out there. One thing I love about our patient engaged system is the ability to, as you're talking to patients and they're talking about how phenomenal their visit was, you can have them, ask them, can I text you a review link? Those reviews are only going to help as your patients also refer your practice for potential patients to look and say, look at the reviews. Oh, there's my friend's name, actually, that reviewed them and stuff. And utilize your Facebook page. Most all of you probably have Facebook pages now for your practice. Use your Facebook page, you guys. You can put the links to online booking on your Facebook page. It's a great opportunity. You should be posting weekly to your Facebook page, at least once a week, updating what's going on in the practice. Don't use some canned things, but really be personable about it. And that's what those potential patients are looking for. As they get recommendations out on Facebook, they're going to go to your website. They're going to go to your Facebook page, have your website link from there. Utilize all your tools, you guys. It's only going to help you and alleviate some of those pain points in the day-to-day work we do in our practice, because we know we're we're just super busy, and the phone's ringing, and we're checking patients out, and we're checking patients in, and you just want to utilize these tools to make your life easier, more efficient, and just to give you a breath of practice. Just take a breather every once in a while.
Yeah, I've seen some really great Facebook posts, Instagram and Facebook posts of offices that have been doing some really great videos. You know, like these "we miss you" dances, and with signs and dances. And I've seen some really great social media posts, and because your patients miss you. Your patients really, they want to come back in, and your patients want to see your smiling faces. So social media is a great place to see your smiling faces, because when they come in the office, you're all masked up and everything. So, social media is a really good place for patients to see your smiling faces, and remember, who you are and what you look like, and just making it fun and personal and all of that good stuff.
Exactly. We need some fun in our lives right now.
Definitely.
Sometimes we're a little too serious. Yeah. We need that fun and happiness.
I know. So there's one more tip I want to give you all. So this is something you can also do in the office, is remembering on a daily basis to look for family members who are not scheduled. And so if you're in the office and you're using like the Dentrix route slip or the visit form, it will show you on the visit form or the route slip if there's family members who are unscheduled. And so that's also a really great opportunity for you, if you're a hygienist, or if you're an admin team member, or even the doctor can see, it looks like John isn't scheduled for his regular, recare. Maybe you can just, send him a message when you get home today to have him give us a call, or get on our website and book an appointment. So, looking for those family members who are not scheduled can also be a really great way for you all to make sure that everybody in the family is scheduled, not just the kids, or not just mom, or somebody, but the entire family, making sure that everybody is scheduled at the same, coming in.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that's an excellent tool, Dana.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's not a lot of questions, and I think the reason for that is because you guys have covered so much. It's been great information, but there is a common theme, and that is how do they get this tip sheet, Dana? Everybody's asking in the comment section about the tip sheet, which is awesome. They're really excited about that. So if you could share that, and then I have a question for you, and then a closing question for Andrea.
Okay. The easiest way to get my tip sheet is to email me. Which is Dana, Dayna, at Novone, Novonee.com. Email me and say tip sheet from Facebook Live, or tip sheet on continuing care, and I will email you both tip sheets. Actually, I have 4 tip sheets that I will send you. I'll send you all 4 of them, so you have those as a resource, and those are just free, and it's just, something that you all need. And just email me directly and you'll get them today.
Awesome. A lot of excitement about that. So we'll be sure to, put your email in the comments thread and all that. One last question for you, Dana. Through all of this in the last 4 to 5 months, you've been in contact, like you mentioned, with a lot of practices out there, questions about things. For the practices that have really rolled up their sleeves and engaged and have used a lot of these tools in the Dentrix system, what type of stories are you hearing, like real life success stories of them, getting great results from figuring this stuff out?
Yeah. I think that offices that really came together as a team and had a plan, most of them, I get online with offices almost every day and their schedules are full. I had an office last week that said, we've already made up most of the production that we've lost. And I think that these are the offices that had systems in place prior to, the shutdown. So what that means is you can do this. And what this means is that if you come together as a team and say, we need to do something, because you're now looking right now, as you're on this Facebook Live, you're looking at your fall schedule and you're like, oh my gosh, October is completely empty. You can do this. You can put these tools in place, whether it's the in-office systems, these manual systems that your team are going to rally together, because it doesn't just have to land on the admin team. I go into practices and sometimes the dental assistants have a few minutes to spare and they can help, or the hygienist gets an opening and the hygienist can help, so this is a whole team effort here. This isn't just landing on the scheduling coordinator. And so I'm really seeing teams that are rallying together and saying, we are going to make this work, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And it is hard work. This is not easy. And, a lot of people are saying, this isn't going to work. Well, if you want it to work, it's going to work. It's hard work right now. I agree. We're probably working harder than we've ever worked in our lives. And this is just what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, pull your boots up, and you're going to have to hit the ground running, because it is hard work. And, it might not be this hard for maybe next year when maybe we're not in this time, but right now it's hard work, and you need to pull your bootstraps up, because you need to hit the ground running right now.
Yeah, inspiring message. I love that. I wanted to ask you that because I know you've been talking to so many practices, and you're hearing things literally on the street of what they're dealing with and how they're moving through it. So thanks for sharing that. And on the technical side, Andrea, when you think about these last 4 or 5 months, what has it been like for you with the phone calls that you guys have been receiving in regards to customers using Dentrix and being like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this was a feature in there, or wow, I can really, now that I've had time to sit down and learn the system more and the software platform more, and I realize there's all these great tools. What has that been like? I mean, because now they can come on the other side of this. And like you mentioned, when they're looking to fill their chairs for the fall, they now have these resources. So I was just curious on kind of what you're hearing on your side.
So yeah, John, it has been absolutely phenomenal in hearing the practices and them going, oh, I didn't realize I had all of this. Of course, we all know that nobody is utilizing 100% of Dentrix, and most are not utilizing even 35%. But when we hit this time, and then we started talking about, you have tools in your practice management software, Dentrix. You have tools in your patient engage, patient communication service that together can digitally do things for you. Practices were like raising their hand immediately and begging to get educated on how to utilize the tools together. And one thing that we saw, and definitely hadn't planned for, was just that influx of need and the want to go totally digital yesterday. And of course, that's all of us as a practice. And I can remember back in my day, something happens in your practice and you're like, gosh, I wish I had done this. And you're wanted immediately, and it makes it tough. So we have had the pains within Henry Schein One of trying our best to get to everybody who has purchased more services and purchased additional things, wants to understand and utilize their services better, and their software. So it's just been a phenomenal thing for us. I mean, I have one practice that I personally worked with that, it is, everybody can do it. I know some of you guys think, oh, wait a minute, I'm not computer savvy. Maybe you're in an age group that you feel is not a computer savvy age group. And you'd be surprised that most of us really are. But I had one practice, and we just took it slow. And she is like now a champion of how to do things. She calls me all the time and says, hey, I figured out something else in patient engage. And did you know you could do this? And this is the system I've put in place. And I am like a champion here. I'm just texting, and they're texting me back, and they're getting on my schedule and She's like, I don't even know. I mean, it's just doing it itself. I don't know. I'm like, wow. Okay. Thank you for all of that. And thanks for teaching me something new myself. I mean, she is just going at it. And as Dana said, we right now are working harder in our practices than we ever have, I'm sure, and trying to overcome what's happened and putting that plan in place, getting a plan now. If you feel like we're not succeeding, you know what? Stop what you're doing, meet as a team and plan how you're going to succeed. Because what you're doing is making you guys right now, if you're not succeeding or you feel you're not, you're just making it harder for each of you. So just stop and take a step back, talk to each other, get that plan in place and move forward. Because I can guarantee you, you're going to be fine. Just get the plan in place and continue to reassess it and grow from it.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. The two of you have shared so much. And for all of you that watched live, thank you so much. We know for many of you, it's like the middle of your day and you took some time out to watch, which we really appreciate. Again, Dana will go ahead and put her email in the comments thread so that for any of you that want that tip sheet, you just go ahead. What a great resource, right? That's pretty exciting, Dana.
Oh my gosh. So I've been sitting watching my emails come through. They've just been coming through.
Sweet. Yeah,
Excellent.
good. So that's the goal of this. And you guys may see also in the comments thread, the team went ahead and pinned there some great resources, all in reference to what Dana and Andrea have talked about today. So again, thank you to the both of you. Continue to do the great work that you're doing, always making the profession better. And there's going to be a lot more of these lives right here on the Henry Schein One and Dentrix Facebook page. So be sure to look out for those as the team can bring about more valuable resources and people in the industry that can add value to your practice. So ladies, thank you so much and have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.